According to the Department of Health, or DOH, the number of firecracker-related injuries during the holiday season rose to nearly 800, which is still about 21% lower than the total injuries reported last year. The report revealed majority cases were from Metro Manila, Ilocos, and Western Visayas. Of the total number of injuries, more than 760 were due to fireworks. 22 were celebratory gunfire cases, and 2 caused by firecracker ingestion. Meantime, the health department added the most affected group were from 6 to 10 years old, while more than 380 of the affected were those who did not directly light the firecrackers. The Bureau of Fire Protection has seen a decrease in the number of major fire-related incidents during the holiday season in 2012. According to Fire Superintendent Bobby Baruelo, the number of the incidents last year's holiday season is lower compared to that of 2011 during the same period. Baruelo added one major factor may have been the contribution of the decrease in the massive information drive enforced by government agencies and other sectors. The fire official also believes the total firecracker ban could help reduce the number of fire-related incidents, adding that the government campaign implemented against firecracker usage is not enough to solve the problem. Quiapo Church settles its plans for the upcoming Feast of the Black Nazarene. Lorraine Mata has the report.
In preparation for the forthcoming of the most celebrated Feast of the Black Nazarene, an annual meeting was held as early as September last year, led by Monsignor Jose Clemente Ignacio with the Parish Pastoral Council and the Fiesta Committee of Quiapo to plan the said event. Parish Pastoral Council and members of the Fiesta Committee were then assigned to assist in various committees, namely security, media, program, liturgy, physical arrangement, procession, ecology, medical assistance, pahalik, food, barangay visitations, and souvenir programs and collection.
May committee para sa medics, yung mga nasusugatan first aid, yung mga ganun sa pagkain, sa mga yung magpe-perform during yung gabi, yung sa vigil, tapos yung mga mag-a-assist sa mga hahalik, yung pupunas, kasama na yung sa matatanda, yung mga disabled, kung paano natin sila magiging priority na mailapit sa senior.
On January 7, a procession of Black Nazarene replicas would take place, followed by the Pahalik Mass and an overnight vigil the next day on January 8. All in preparation for the translation of the miraculous icon of the Black Nazarene on January 9 from Quirino Grandstand to its home at Minor Basilica in Quiapo.
Sa mismong January 9 ng alas 6, nandun yung misa natin with our Arsobispo ng Maynila, si Cardinal Tagle. Tapos after ng Mass niya, doon na mag-uumpisa yung procession. Meron namang committee naka-assign doon. At saka nailabas na ng simbahan kung ano yung way yung dadaanan niya.
Meantime, a final meeting would be held at 1 in the afternoon Saturday at Luneta Grandstand with all the members of the committees to finalize the plans on the day of the festival. For GNN, Lorraine Mata, News Force.
Metropolitan Manila Development Authority, or MMDA, has released on Friday the rerouting scheme and road closures for the annual Feast of the Black Nazarene procession that will be held on January 9th. MMDA noted that some roads in Metro Manila will be closed a day before the yearly procession. The roads that will be closed on Wednesday next week are P. Campa España, Nicanor Reyes España, Alucia Fugoso, Recto Isetan, and Raon Evangelista. Also closed during the feast are Maria Orosa, P. Burgos, Lagunislad, P. Burgos, Taft Finance Westbound, A. Villegas, Taft Avenue, 25th Street, Bonifacio Drive, N.A. Lopez, A. Villegas, Anda Circle, Bonifacio Drive, General Luna P. Burgos, Rojas Boulevard, T.M. Calao, and Katigbak Rojas Boulevard. After the tragic incident that killed a 7-year-old elementary student, one of the alleged suspects finally turned himself to the police. Paul Ann with more of the details.
The alleged suspect of the stray bullet victim Nicole, killed on New Year's Day celebration, has finally surrendered himself and undergone inquest proceedings. However, authorities revealed that according to the ballistics and bullet examination conducted on the firearms of the suspect, Juan Agos, it turned out that Agos was innocent because his bullet mismatched to the one which struck and killed Nicole.
Despite the devastation felt by the families and relatives of the stray bullet victim Stephanie Nicole, they're still fighting to seek justice and to prosecute its perpetrators.
On the other hand, Nicole's advisor and teacher at the Tala Elementary School, Ma'am Arlene Arellano, could not hardly believe that her wish student was already dead.
Si Nicole active yan sa klase ko kasi siya yung kumbaga siya yung pinaka marunong na sa klase. Marunong siya. Rank 1 siya sa akin.
Top 1 po
Top 1 siya. Kasi siya na yung bata kong nakabasa ng isang story na kaya niya ng with comprehension na yun. Kaya niya nang sagutin kung ano man yung binasa about the story.
Nicole's father, J. Elia, also reminisced the time when her little girl was alive.
Although hindi ako nawalan ng hope na yung miracle ng Lord is gano'n sa Kanya. Kaya nilaban pa rin namin talaga. Saka nakikita naman namin na talagang lumalaban siya. Kausap ako. Kung ganyan din si Nicole, lalapit, kukulitin ka. Makikisali sa usapan nyo. Makikihalubilo sa mga kung may bisita man. Ganun siya. Mga nagagawa nilang ganun. Meron yung meron yung balik sa kanila. Matakot sila kung baka sa pamilya pa nila bumalik. Kaya kung hanggat maaari, itama na nila yung ginawa nila. Sumuko na sila.
Victim's mother, Mitch Elia, meantime reiterated that death penalty should once again be observed in the country after the death of her daughter.
Sana po makonsyensya po siya sa ginawa niya. Sana po may patas po tayo. Sana ibalik po yung bitay.
Meanwhile, despite the fact that many have turned themselves on the police after illegally discharging firearms on the New Year's Day celebration, Nicole's parents eagerly called local officials and the police to immediately prosecute its perpetrators. For GNN, Paul Ang, News Force.
The caretaker of Ronald Bae, whose shooting rampage killed 7 people and gravely injured 9 others, has surrendered to the Philippine National Police, or PNP, stating that he was forced by the gunman to help him in his rampage. After being convinced to surrender by a relative, Bae's accomplice John Paul Lopez admitted to loading the gunman's .45 caliber pistol used in the shootout, but claimed he was only threatened to do so. Meanwhile, Senior Superintendent Alexander Rafael said the police will determine the liability of Lopez in the crime. Smartmatic International Corporation has been given a new contract to supply the Compact Flash, or CF cards, for the 2013 elections, despite the controversy created by some defective cards used in the 2010 polls. Smartmatic will provide 82,200 CF cards, which cost about 550 pesos each, for a total of 45.21 million pesos. Aside from the CF cards, Smartmatic was also awarded the 154.576 million contract to supply 15,000 units of transmission modems that will be used in the PCOS machines. The Commission on Elections raffles off placements of party list groups in ballots which will be used in the 2013 polls. Rach Marquez reports.
For the first time in the history of polls, the Commission on Elections, or COMELEC, raffled off placements of party list groups in ballots that will be used in the upcoming May elections. COMELEC Commissioner Rene Sarmiento said they have decided to conduct the raffle to level the playing field, since party list groups whose names start with number 1 and letter A dominate the listing. Sarmiento noted the reason for the group's names was to put them in the top of the listing of party list groups. A total of 136 party list groups will participate in the 2013 elections, 15 of which have names that start with number 1, while 75 others have names that start with letter A. The raffle was conducted with the use of numbered ping-pong balls in a tambiolo, with the commissioners taking turns in drawing the balls. COMELEC Chairman Sixto Brillantes meanwhile said that being in the number 1 spot is not an assurance for winning the elections. First Consumers Alliance for Rural Energy, or OneCare, meantime won the top spot in the listing of ballots. For GNN, Rich Marquez, News Force.
The Armed Forces of the Philippines has been asked to remain neutral and apolitical during the incoming 2013 midterm polls. Defense Secretary Voltaire Gazmin called on the military to observe the conduct of honest, orderly, and peaceful elections and to remain non-partisan at all times. Gazmin also urged AFP troops to pursue the fight against corruption in the country. In other news, the Department of Energy, or DOE, has pledged to support the government's aim of holding a successful and brownout-free elections. According to the DOE, they wanted to ensure the stable and continued supply of power before, during, and after the 2013 national and local elections. Energy Secretary Carlos Jericho Petilla, meantime said their goal is to distinguish areas that will need extra effort from the task force in terms of power supply, particularly in the isolated areas not connected to the grid, and some areas in Mindanao. International operations arrested more than 200 child porn suspects. And Kevin Jonas reveals life with Danielle in reality show.